Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another amazing, mind-blowing, inspiring episode. This is your girl F.A. and today I have two amazing guests. These are my two friends turned sisters. I have Miss Olayemi, hello.
Hi guys.
Miss Temi Topes, say hello, or
Hi.
Pilot. So if most of you guys have already seen my get to know me video, I explained to you guys that I was a Christian. Don't worry. Well, not was a Christian. I am a Christian, okay? Not was. So don't worry. If you haven't seen the video already, look down the description below. It's going to be linked there, okay? So today we're going to talk about our faith. We live in a generation where we have youth who don't really find the importance of God. You know, they have this, I'm spiritual. I'm pretty sure you've heard of that, right? I'm spiritual. Or I'm a Christian, but I stay at home. I don't go to church, or I don't do church. So I have my two beautiful friends. We all go to church together, and we are just pretty much going to talk about our faith, okay? So, ladies, now, I know both of you guys were raised in church, unlike me, which I will tell you that story next time, okay? So please let us know, what is your background? So, like, how did you get into this faith journey? Yemi?
For me, like I was really born in a Christian home, and back then my parents were Baptist members, and but it was not really. I didn't really get a lot out of it because I was little, so I was like, okay, we just go to church, pray,
So
that. So it was
yeah.
like a normal thing for us, to do, like just pray. So I was not really deep into it. But when I was like, getting older, I started to have like a good understanding of, oh, okay, like what's my true identity in Christ? Like, what am I up to? What's this whole Christianity thing about? That was back then. But now, I think I have like a full understanding of what Christianity is really all about. And yeah.
How about you? What is your journey?
So my parents, they were Christians. My grandpa, my grandma, like they were like pastors, prophets, and stuff like that. And my grandpa had a church, so my dad was a pastor, and we'll always go to church every Sundays and stuff. So it was like a norm for my siblings and I. So I mean, I wasn't like really like into it. I just go to church because my parents like get up, go to church. So like since I got to America, it's like really cause like I was alone like with my family, cause my family in Nigeria and stuff. So I was just like all to myself. So that's when I realized that like you don't have your mom. Like my mom still prays for me, but you don't have your mom here that will wake you up, say
go to
o'clock.
church.
Yeah, go to
For
church.
sure.
So I had to like I got closer to God, but like it's not as close as I am right now. Like ever since I started the main city, it's not as close.
So
And
just
that's like really
to understand, so pretty much you were raised in a church,
yeah.
and it's a normal thing. Everybody's going to church, so let's go.
Yeah.
So you won't be that demon that says, I'll stay
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah.
So, but then when you moved to the US,
Yeah.
you were by yourself.
Yeah.
So nobody was waking you up and say it's time to go to church and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And that brings me to a really good question. Now that no one is pushing you guys to go to church, no one's telling you, like you said, no one's saying, you have to go to church. What has kept you, now that nobody is supervising you, what has kept you?
Well, to me, I love singing, so and I think that's part of the most thing that actually kept me in church because I told God, I said, God, I really want to work for you, and through that, at least I'm grounded in Christ. So I think music,
Yeah.
one of the things, like music.
Yeah. So guys, she raised a really good point. Coming to church is amazing. Sorry, I didn't skip that. I'm gonna ask you some question. Coming to church is amazing, but things happen in church. We step on each other's toes. There's backstabbing. We all know how it is. Why don't go to church? Church is full of hypocrites. Church is this, church is that. We've heard of all those stuff. But she's saying, apart from the people in the church, what has kept me is I have this talent, I have this skill with my voice. And because I have this skill, I am going to submit myself in a team, because you're part of the choir.
Yeah.
I'm going to submit myself in my team. And because you have a team, because you're serving in church, you're more grounded. There's no way to see you. It doesn't give you the time to say, oh, I'm not coming to church today.
Yeah.
And because there's a responsibility.
Yeah.
So I think what really keeps people in church, and what you're saying is, find a department. Find a place to be in church. Coming to church is amazing, but if you don't have a department, whether it's ushering, choir, media team, whatever it is, you can get up and leave anytime.
Yes.
And I'm not saying if you have these teams that you can't get up and leave, that's nobody's holding you, but you have a sense of purpose when you belong in a team. So that kind of kept you in.
Yes.
Yeah. How about you? What has kept you in the faith?
I would say my experience in life has kept me in church. Like, there's something I really talk about to everybody, and it's like being independent. I'm not saying like you can't depend on other people for stuff, but like I was really raised to be like to be independent and be dependent on God. And like anytime I think about it, it's like, okay, like God is the only way. Like I can't trust these people. Like I can't depend on these people. Like they're gonna fail me. I don't know. But like God is the only, like He's the only one that will not let me down and stuff. So I just think about that. I think about, you know how Pastor Chino Do once said that you can't just charge your phone like once a day
And take it the whole
once
week.
in a week. Yeah, and just take it So it's like I just think, well, okay, I have to go to church on Fridays. I have to go to church on Wednesday and Sunday because I have to like charge my faith. I have to beat up my faith, you know, because like I'm this type of person that you have to like keep telling me that, okay, go do this thing, go, because I'm really stubborn.
Yeah.
Like, go do this thing.
You're recovering from being stubborn.
Yeah, so like I have to keep going to church to listen to God's word and like let those things get stuck and then like keep meditating on it and stuff. Yeah, let it sink.
So you raised a good point. So we're a spirit being who has a soul that lives in a body. So what she's saying is that I'm going to church because I need to be fed. What kept me is that I'm not depending on people, because people can say yes today and say no tomorrow. But I know somebody who will always be there. I know someone who's constantly faithful. Now I know a lot of people, we glamorize a Christian life. Like what I'm trying to say is we make it seem like, oh, it's so easy. We make it seem like, oh, you have to just give your life to Christ and your life is beautiful. But we live in a world, and the world is filled with darkness, right? So what are some challenges that you guys have had in your faith life? Pretty much as, whoa, that you've stumbled. What are some challenges?
Like, a lot of us make that mistake, like, oh, once you're a Christian, like, if you pray to God now, like,
we'll give it to you now.
It's, So, like, you know, when I first, when I started this faith journey, like, there was something I was actually trusting God for, and I thought it was gonna happen at that moment, because, you know, they said He's our Father and we can ask Him anything and He's gonna do, whatever we ask Him, but I thought it's something that I could get at that moment, but when this started, oh my God, like it was really crazy, and I was not pleased. Like I was like,
Daddy, what's up?
I mean,
Yeah.
they said it's easy. What's so easy about this? I've been asking Him for something, right, and He didn't even get me. So yeah, a lot of times, like, it just tests your faith, to be honest. Like, if you're not really like, someone that is really ready to serve Him, you're gonna go astray. If you're not really ready, like if your mind is not prepared, like you're gonna go.
Yeah.
So, but what have kept me, I just keep on believing. Just like what we're being taught today at church, like no matter, even if you're asking God for something, even if He hasn't done it yet, like why can't you just leave it out and start praising God?
Yeah.
Things like that has really helped me to like, go through whatever the circumstances I'm facing in my life that I've been trying to pray to God and hasn't been answered yet. So, yeah.
Okay. So I think what I'm getting is, a lot of people think being a Christian means every time you open your mouth to pray, the answer is right there.
Yeah.
God, I want this job. Boom. I want this car. Boom. But it doesn't always work like that.
No.
And it's not because God hasn't heard you or because He ran out of resources. Sometimes the things we're praying for, God is like, baby.
You already have it. You even have it, and you don't even know that you had it.
Even that. Or sometimes when things don't really happen when it's supposed to happen, because God is trying to protect us. There's some things people have received that are killing them.
Yes.
Someone is praying for a car today. They go and get a car note whatsoever. And because of that car note, God was telling them, wait, I'm going to get your car, wait. But because of impatience, they went and got the car. Now they have to do 2 jobs to make sure they keep that car. So pretty much, your prayers, God always hears our prayers. That's not an issue. The challenge, what she's trying to say is, what you want may not happen right there and right now and then. And that's okay. Daddy still loves you regardless. And He will bring whatever He has coming your way, but in His time. So what are your challenges as growing up? Well, not growing up, in your faith.
I'm imbalanced.
Say that again, sister.
Time
imbalance. Because look, guys, what you don't know, we're students, number 1.
Yeah.
We're leaders at church, number 2. We have family, number 3. I work, number 4. They're entrepreneurs, number 5. What else should we go ahead? It's so much. So please go on.
So time imbalance. It's not it's still a challenge that I face because like I'm in school like 24/7,
Literally.
Sunday through Saturday. Like, you know, it's just, and then like times where I have to like go to church on Wednesdays, I'm not able to go because I have class at this time. And, you know, a lot of stuff is just going on. And then I try to balance it, but, you know, I can't because one instructor is not good. So I have to, like, stick to this professor and stuff like that. So it's still something I face. But at the same time, I'm trying to, like, you know, if I don't go to church on Wednesday, I'll try to go to church on Fridays to just, you know, make up that. Yeah.
So I think the point that you brought up was very important because a lot of people, we live in a world now where it's work.
I mean, especially in America, right?
Yeah. It's like work has been one of the main things that has kept people from church as well. Because, you know, that conflict.
They have to pay bills. Like,
yeah, exactly. I don't have time to go to church. I gotta pay bills. Okay, God understands.
Yeah.
I'll go next time. God understands. So you're saying that it's just being able to balance your regular life and your Christian life. But question though, is there really 2 separate lives, or is it 2 lives? You know, I have to balance my regular life and my Christian life. Is it really? I don't know if you understand my question. Is it really 2 lives, or is it just 1?
Well, to me, like I would say it's 1 because, for an instance, Pastor Steve. I can say he's the most busy person I've never met before because he has a lot of, apart from before, I mean, he has church to take care of and he has businesses, he has family, like sometimes I just imagine how did he try to sort out the old thing. That's
and yet he never misses a service.
Exactly, that's a whole lot. So if he can do it, why can't I'm so young, I'm still in my 20s, I'm not even up to I can do it. So I feel like it's not easy to say, but I think I can still have my way around it.
So pretty much what she just said, Pastor Steve is our senior pastor, and he has businesses and he has a family that he's responsible for, and he comes to church. So what she's saying is that if Pastor can do it, so can we. And like she said, it's not easy. It is not easy balancing all of this stuff, but we have to understand that at the end of the day, we're going to leave everything behind. We came into the world naked. So all the money we're going for, all the degrees we're going for, all the this and that we're going for, they're going to be left behind. And I'm not saying that that's not important, but you have to make sure that, like the Bible tells us, to lay treasures that will speak for us in eternity. Now that's the topic for another day. I know some people are going to be watching this video that may not be familiar to what I just said, but that's okay. Just follow us, okay? But my next question is, let me go back. So now that you are still struggling with this balance thing, and I know it's a progress thing, what are your things, like your steps you're taking to kind of help you out a little bit?
Like I said, I'm trying to you know how we have the service on Wednesday and then we have it on Friday and Sunday. Pastor Danny, he he told me to he told me that if I can't make the one on Wednesday, I should go to the one on Friday. And if I can't make the one on Friday,
amen.
So it's a show you have to go to church on Sunday, bro.
yeah.
So just trying, do something, don't just. Well, it is.
Yeah, and then like Sundays, there's some Sundays, you know, like sometimes we're working on Saturdays and we're tired and everything, and then like on Sunday you don't want to wake up. So it's like she was waking me up this morning and I didn't want to wake up at all. Like I was like, oh damn, just FaceTime me when you get to church. So it's just like the flesh, I would say. The flesh. I think that's the problem. Yeah, sleep. It's like, okay.
You still went.
Yeah, so of course.
And you got
like
something.
I would have gotten
Exactly.
I wouldn't get it, but
yeah. And you know what's so amazing is that the moment that you're struggling or going to church, you know, that's that day you're struggling.
That's when
something is
kind of like
for you.
something like a very big message or something that's gonna switch that thing that you've been passing through your life.
Exactly.
Like it's gonna happen.
Yes, I think that's what a lot of people miss their blessings is that people who are going to church regularly, like, oh, I'm not going to church today. So the devil is not stupid. The devil knows what he's doing. The devil knows if something is coming for you, he will do anything to keep you away from getting that thing. So sleep or just
it's not even about like just like the message that we were taught at church today, like is about like you asking God for something, and I mean, even if you didn't feel like he has answered, but why can't you just go on your knees or start praising God? What if that's the thing she needs to know?
Yeah.
You know, for her to like, oh, I think my prayer is answered. She would have gotten it today. Because she would have gotten the old thing today, but thank God she
so just to know, I love what you just said. So there's some things we've been praying. What we learned in church today was Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is another step from prayer. There's some things we don't even have to pray for. Just getting your knees and praising the Lord, thanking Him and loving on Him can propel whatever that thing is to push through. So if she hadn't gone to church today and had listened to her flesh and stayed in bed, she may not have known that she had a dangerous weapon inside of her. And she can sing, y'all, okay? That's really good.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. I want to talk about my favorite thing, speaking in tongues.
That's a whole
different topic, right? We've all heard it's fake, it's manipulated, you're speaking the demon's language, yada 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 yada. What have your experiences been with speaking in tongues?
For me, I think I'm not really sure, but I think I started speaking in tongues when I was like 19, but I didn't really take it serious. But when I was fully involved in speaking in tongues, like it was not really new to me because I had already know what it was, but I didn't really have the full understanding of what speaking in tongues was really. And to me, my understanding about speaking in tongues is just, talking to God in another language. Like what we're being taught was, when you speak in tongues, it's gonna give devil, the devil's not gonna know what you're trying to tell God, and which is good. I mean, there are sometimes that you yourself, or sometimes that you yourself, you don't even know what to pray about, but once you start speaking in tongues, God already understand, but that doesn't gonna give devil the room to understand what he's saying, and he's not even gonna be able to attack, your prayer.
The devil doesn't know what you're talking about. It's a direct language to the Lord.
Yes. So, but we are in this kind of world, like a lot of people are still having the problem of, understanding what speaking in tongues.
Or they say it's not for everybody.
But yes, speaking in tongues for everybody.
Everybody.
Woman, no, man, no.
Everybody.
Boy, you're picking no. Speaking in tongues for everybody. Even like a 5-year-old can start speaking in tongues. Like, just see how it really works. But yeah, speaking in tongues for me is, I feel really confident. Like I feel confident when I speak in tongues because sometimes I don't even know what I'm even talking about. Like I don't even know what I want to pray about sometimes. But when I wake up, I think God has already answered my prayer. So I think that's what I can say about speaking in tongues.
How about your experience?
My experience about speaking in tongues
is a whole different level.
Look, sorry, this girl used to question this speaking in tongues. Why do I have to pray in tongues? Is it necessary? like we will be in the car going back and forth. I'm like, you know what? It's your business. You want to do it, you don't want to, because it's a choice, okay?
Yeah.
If you want to, you want. You don't want to, whatever. It's a gift. It's
You
for
have to
everybody.
want it. Yeah.
And then we were having, because we're in the choir together. So usually, whenever we before we start worshiping, we always pray. But that time, our room. This is when I first heard it. Our room was occupied. So we went to the parking lot, and then we was holding hands, going back and forth.
Was I there?
You wasn't there. You were in Texas.
Oh, what a
We
trip.
we were holding hands, walking back and
Oh
forth.
my god.
And you know what? She prayed in tongues. I'm like, you know when she prayed very silent. I was like, whatever. Maybe it's just me hearing my own self. And then I got quiet. Next thing I know, this girl is speaking in tongues. Let me tell you, the way how I jumped, I picked her up. Like, I picked her up and I went in circle. Like, I was screaming. I even stopped praying. I was just listening to her. Because the girl that
you guys don't understand, like we've been praying, trusting God on our behalf, like just for us to speak to him, because it's like she didn't really get the understanding of speaking in tongues, and
then she's
I feel so bad, like, you know, when everybody's speaking in tongues, and
she's like, God, I thank you.
Exactly, I was like, God, really? It's a good thing.
It's like she used to analyze everything, how, why, this, and then when she opened her mouth, I was like, when did you pray? Like, I was like, I was so high. See how I said I am right now? Like, when did you start praying? How? What? And you didn't tell me. She's like, I've been doing it for a month now. I said, what?
How did it happen?
I said, how did it happen? Yes, that's a good question.
I don't even know when it happened. I mean, it happened, but like I always question myself. My mom used to speak in tongues, so I never really had I wasn't against it. But I had like a positive, because I always like to know why like something's happening. I had like a positive because my mom speaks it, so I'm like, okay,
It was
it's
a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. And then like I was always taught that speaking in tongues is a gift from the Holy Spirit. So it's just a gift. Like everyone has their own like particular gift. So mine probably is not speaking in tongues. So like in that church, they will always like, after singing and stuff like that, they will always like have one person speak in tongues and then another person interpreting and stuff. So they called my mom out one time, and it was like all lies. Like everything they said was all lies. My mom was looking like. So I'm not trying to like shade white German churches like summer.
So because of that experience, it made you to like, whoa.
Because of that experience and because of how I was taught like by some pastors in the church that it's a gift. So like my perspective of tongues being like a gift is like, okay, I don't have to have, maybe it's not for me. Like something else might be for me and stuff like that. And then when I got to Dominion City, I would always like ask questions and stuff like that. And then I started like, I would say some stuff, but then I would doubt myself, like, is this really, like, am I getting forced to do it because everybody's doing it? Am I faking it? So I'm going to stop and then start praying in English, and then I start, and I'm like, okay, I'm faking, I think I'm faking. But I was like, I don't think, like, it's not something that's from me. Like, when I speak, it's not something that's from me. It's something like,
it's your spirit. Remember, your
spirit, on the inside. So I was like, might as well continue because, like,
it's
so now I don't really remember like when I started speaking in tongues, because like it was like different Sundays, different days, convention. I think convention I was like really speaking. Yeah, I was really speaking like in tongues, but like before I was always like, okay, whatever.
But I think the thing is, I think it's already in you, because of course we did the Holy Ghost baptism and it was already in you, but because you were doubting yourself and you did not really give yourself
and trying to make sense out of
it, so you know, like it was coming, but you have to open your mouth.
That's the only way you can receive it. Open your mouth.
You have to open your mouth. You have to open your mouth, and I hope it's gonna come out. Even if it's da.
And I'm glad you said that, because I feel like a lot of people who, so first of all, if you're watching this, you don't even know what the heck we're talking about. Tongues is a heavenly language. It is a language that, like the Bible explains, Satan does not know what you're talking about. It is something that is directly like God's direct line, okay? Direct numbers, what you're down, you speak in tongues. It's not something that you fake. It's not something that
your mommy knows
your
about,
mommy knows,
your pastor knows about, like nobody knows about it.
Like when she says that, she's like, what do you mean nobody knows about it?
I said, God.
Okay, whatever you're saying nobody knows. Exactly. And even you, what's funny is even you don't even know what you're talking about. Then people are like, if I don't know what I'm talking about, why would I say it? Whatever. When you pray in tongues, you're praying to God directly. And the thing is, you can never pray amiss when you're praying in tongues.
Yeah.
You're praying exactly the will of God.
That's right.
There's some people who are not praying in tongues and they're praying for cars, but God has seen, God forbid, an accident that is happening. If you had the privilege of speaking in tongues, you could have prayed that prayer not knowing and prevented that. For example, so I have an auntie at church, and she was, going through this tongue speaking with somebody explaining to them, and she said that she was at work, and while she was at work, the Holy Spirit, prompted her to pray. And she does sales, so of course, when you speak, I work at Comcast, so you have to kind of the phone, you can't be praying because phones are coming in. So she put the customer on mute and she started praying in tongues, whispering, praying. And she felt herself, the thing was pulling out. And then as she kept praying, after a while, she was at peace. And then she went to work. She finished her work, then she was going home. God, what is going on? Whatever. Turns out that moment that she was praying, an accident had occurred with her cousin and the car turned over. But she didn't know that God was asking her to intervene on that accident. When the police came, that car should have killed that person. But the person came out, no scratch. Absolutely no scratch. And when you look at the car, completely totaled. But if she had prayed in her understanding, she wouldn't have known exactly what to pray. The Bible says pray in understanding and in tongues. So there's nothing wrong with praying. So you have to do both. And then another person in her family, her auntie had a dream that her husband's sister, her sister-in-law, let me just say, her sister-in-law's husband got into an accident and died. So she had a dream, but this lady didn't know how to speak in tongues. So what she was doing, Father, in the name of Jesus, I come against his death. I plead the blood, Amazing, fantastic, not a problem. So she left the town she was in, traveled to the couple's house, and went and told the couple what she dreamt about. They held hands and they prayed. Okay, everything was good. Turns out that it was her husband who got into an accident. He was traveling. He got into an accident and died. But in the dream, she saw that it was her in-law that died. Her sister-in-law's husband that died. But it turns out it was her husband. So what I got from that is, if she had prayed in tongues, just like how my other auntie did, if she had prayed in tongues, if she had known to pray in tongues, probably that wouldn't have happened. There would have been things she would have been able to, to switch. So tongues is able to shift things around that speaking in plain English won't even be able to touch. But we're going to talk about it as we go forward with this journey. And,
But I think this tongue topic, I think it's still going to come up because
it's a lot. So this video will not be able to cover everything. Okay, we're going to the next question. The next question is, now we all have family members who may agree with our schedule, may not agree. Like I said, we go to church almost every day. How do you, if you're that young man, that young woman out there who is watching us, who are in our predicament, how do you handle that when your family members saying, like for me, for example, whenever I go to church, when I first started, family members used to be like, oh my God, they've used you, and you're in church, you don't do anything in the home anymore, or are you sure you're going to church? Like, how do you handle that? Like, if you're the only person who's dedicated, and none of your family members are,
It's hard because I've been in a situation whereby they accuse me of, you're dating your pastor. I was like, what? What? Dating? How did that come? When did you see us together?
That one is a big one. I never received that one.
Yeah, they were like, I was dating my pastor because I was going to church so much. I wasn't really going to church so much, but at that point in my life, I was really dedicated to Christ. I was like, God, I'll serve you. I'm here.
Yeah.
And to them, it looks like, I don't really have, a purpose for my life. Like, my main goal is just going to church, and I was accused of, dating my pastor. But I didn't really let that bother me because I know what I'm doing. I'm serving God, and God is, it's over everybody. That he's the only one that can accuse me. Then he should come down and come and accuse me like, oh, you're really dating your pastor. But yeah, I don't know. But I think my advice to anybody that is actually passing through this, just believe in God. Yeah. Pray. They will talk, they will shut up.
Hashtag. I love it. And I think one thing I always told her when we talk, I told her, I said, results speak. Whatever you're doing, and you know it's for the Lord, continue what you're doing. You don't have to argue anything. You don't have to, prove yourself. Continue. Results speak. And in due time, the Lord will show your faithfulness. So the last question, well, actually I have one more before we go to the last one.
Okay.
This one is, we have lots of young people. Okay. They said the future belongs to the young.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of young people who are not going to church, but yet the future belongs to them. And we believe that the spiritual rules the natural. Don't look, I know it's too much right now, but we will, as we go through the journey, I'll start explaining things. The spiritual rules the natural. So if we don't have people who are not in church, we don't have people who know God, who are able to tap into that, then our natural, hello? Yeah, because we have people who are joining Illuminati's, and these are all spiritual things, believe it or not, Freemason, so they can gain wealth, so they can gain all manner of stuff like that. But there's so many young people who are not going to God. Why do you think that is? Let me just ask that. Why are young people not attracted to the church?
I can say, to me, what I really see is, should I say, I'm trying to look for a good English to qualify this. Should I say social or something like peer pressure? Not really peer pressure, but because it comes with it. Let me just social, media, this computer age of thing,
I can do church online.
Exactly.
And that's nothing wrong with that.
I don't have to go to church I can pull up my stuff, YouTube, But it's not about it. It's not. Of course, you can still catch some stuff online.
But it's not a full package.
Exactly.
This is something that I don't think it's something that's often, but it's really rare. I would say, people are not people in general actually. They don't want to trust something that they cannot see. Thinking about God and okay, I'm just gonna serve. Because I was listening to his song, and he was talking about how do I serve somebody that I cannot see, somebody that's not there with me. Some people don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. Some people also, they don't want to they think about what their experience is, what they face. Okay, let's say I'm a thief or I kill people. They're conscious of that. Oh, I can't go to church because I'm a sinner.
I'm going to be condemned. People will look at me.
Yeah, people will look at me. And some people they still want to continue in their acts
they don't want to leave the world.
Yeah, they don't want to leave the world.
My next question. You're stealing from me. Continue.
They don't want to
believe
that.
Can I
give an example?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not against gay people, but I'm against what they do and stuff. That's what we on camera. Okay, I'm against what they do. They don't want to they guys guys, but some people want to go to church, but some people don't want to go to church because
they like guys are
it's
something in our society is not welcoming. A lot of people gonna look
they're gonna be
and every time you go in front of the Lord, something that you're doing that's not right will be highlighted.
Yeah.
And people are scared of that.
Yeah. And how Pastor Chedu always talks about your sin consciousness and stuff. They some people don't want to do they don't want to. The devil is always oh, you just stole your mom's money last
year. You're
gonna
go lift holy hands.
Yeah. So they feel guilty about that, and yeah.
So
other stuff too.
So pretty much what I received, why a lot of people, a lot of youth, anyways, that's who we're
I'm
speaking
sorry,
to.
I think, like the way we were being brought up, like back then in Africa, like is even if you're not going to church to do anything, you have to go to church. But I think the children or the young ones they're raising right now, like they are
independent.
Exactly, like just independent. Like
my child can choose
whatever they want to do. So I think at the end of the day, it all matters to the kind of upbringing, because like the way we're even before we actually rededicated our life to Christ, we used to me I used to have it at the back of my head like I'm still a Christian no matter what. I still have to go to church no matter what. As even if I don't pray every day, but I know that God up there is is someone I can talk to, like I can relate to and all that. So I think at the end of the day, it matters to like your upbringing. A lot of kids right now, they really want to do whatever. They don't care about who is telling them what to do. So yeah.
And I'm glad you guys said that. So pretty much what I got, why a lot of our youth are running from church is number one, we are our own people. Nobody can tell us, like we live in a nation that's filled, we have this independent spirit that, like for us, well, not for me because I didn't grow up in a church, but for you guys, you're basically going to church. You want to tell me you're not going to church? Are you crazy? Are you mad? Who gave birth to you? Are you serious?
Right?
You go to church, exactly. So we have like people who are not like that, and then we have people who are like church is boring, church is lame, it's not cool and stuff like that. So what's the point? And then we have people who are guilt conscious. But let me tell you something. One thing I've learned is going to church. Yes, you're going to see the people. By the end of the day, the people are not going to change you.
Yeah.
People don't know what condition you've been through. They don't know your situation. They don't know any of that, but the Lord knows it. We need to learn how to leave self behind and go for help. You're coming to church because you're seeking the divine, his help. You're not coming to church because of Sally, because of whatever. And I know it's easier said than done, but it's okay. Come to church. You're a thief. Come. The Lord loves the thieves. You're a murderer. Come. He loves you regardless. Yeah. People will judge you. The prostitutes. Hello. There was somebody who was caught in the midst of adultery. It's not like they heard that she was, doing adultery. She was caught. They brought her to be stoned. Jesus said, if you've not sinned before, stone her. And nobody stoned her. They just walked away. So what I'm trying to say is just to accept anybody. As you're beginning to come into church, you begin to come to the Lord, He is going to find a way to begin to remold you. It's a process, but you have to be willing to take it. So don't run away from church. Come to church, okay? And forget the naysayers. It's okay. Remember, it's not about them. At the end of the day, you're going to meet the Lord, and when you're going on Judgment Day, you're not going with your neighbors. Yeah. You're going by yourself. Right. All right, ladies. Now, let's get to the real thing. Everybody says being a Christian is boring. You are lame. You have no life whatsoever. Please explain to these people how much fun we have. Hey, we don't have fun. Well, we started all over. We started over now.
First.
Okay. Since they don't have fun, let me explain to you. I have no life. I'm telling you, I have no life. But you know what's beauty about it? Because I sacrificed being in the world. I sacrificed clubbing. I sacrificed drinking. I sacrificed smoking, doing all of this stuff. God has given me another life that is better than that. If that makes sense.
Yes.
I wasn't too much in the world. I'll go to the store when I explain my story one day. I wasn't too much in the world. But the amount of fun that I'm having now is like, yes, I go to church and time is, whatever. But I'm at peace every time. There are people who go to club every day, but yet their mind isn't correct. Like they're always being troubled. I'm the type of person, like I'm laughing. Like I've made in church, I've made beautiful friends who have turned sisters, people who have my backs. There are people you are clubbing with, people you are in the same game with.
Club and you're thinking
exactly.
There's a
hello, and they have a bullet. They have a knife waiting for you to stab your back. In the midst of church, I've found peace. I found joy. And that may not sound fun to you, but I'm telling you, I don't have to worry about stepping outside every time. Yeah. Because as a Christian, I am protected. I come home every day chilled, okay? I come home every day chilled. And baby, let me that is my fun. And I'm not too much of a party person. I was never, even before I became a Christian, but I have joy. You know, and the thing, what you may call fun, I don't call fun, or vice versa. But this is my fun. There's no joy outside of Christ. It's not just about coming to church. When we say church, I'm not saying the 4 buildings alone. It's just the people being a Christian in general. We dance. Oh, we host parties. We have parties. Like, I think we have so many parties. Like baby showers, weddings. Are you kidding me?
A Christmas.
Yes, we have to. Thanksgiving party. We have to do that.
Yeah.
So I have fun. I really do. Ladies, do you guys have fun?
I have fun.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah.
You talk about peace. That is really
The
like
peace, yeah.
yes, like the peace that it's just really good. Like when you know that you have a father up there. Like even if you're a sinner or whatever, you can always go back to him and ask for forgiveness and stuff like that. And you know that he still cares for you. Like he's still for you. Like I would catch on the bus and walking at night, 12 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I'm just walking.
Yeah, and there's some people who will be looking behind their backs all the time.
Yeah, I know. Like he's protecting me. Like it's just the peace and the you just know that there's nothing that's gonna go wrong with you. There's nothing. I mean, like in life, you're still gonna go through a lot of stuff, temptation, tests, and all that stuff. But he would not give you what you cannot bear. Like it's something that you can handle. Yeah. So it's something that will, it's life. It's something that will happen and stuff. So I just like that the peace.
And look, you want to get high? There's nothing like being intoxicated with the Holy Spirit. Look, people who are weed smokers, people who are all these other smokers to get high, baby, you don't even know what high is, okay? You do not know what high is. There's nothing like being, when the Holy Spirit comes and saturates the room. Oh my God. Like, we had a service one day, the chairs were organized. Next thing you know, chairs were all over the place. And I know you guys are thinking people are like, that's what I'm talking about, okay? Just, come to church. Descriptions of the various locations, they are below. Come to church and come and see for yourself. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for joining me. This has been fun. It really has been amazing. And guys, you will see their faces, okay? So this is not the last time I should say. You will see their faces.
But that's a good viral, yo.
So how can we connect with you? How can we follow up with you?
My hand, you can reach out to me on _ Diekolola, DIEKOLOLA. Thank you.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
And how about you? How can we keep up with you?
On Instagram, Ace_Timmy, ACE_TENNY.
Yep. That's it. Well, guys, definitely go follow them. They're fun people. You will see how our lives are. And I hope this video has inspired you to know that, look, Christians have fun, okay? And we're students, we're workers, we're young. So if we're telling you this, we're not being paid to say this or anything. We're speaking from experience. And